We have Attorney Cinderella Filipina Benitez Haro. A round of applause, please.
Good afternoon. Dr. Alan David Meisel, Dr. kanina po si Dr. Lourdes Generalao, Attorney Susan Prayada, Dr. Bas Dreisinger, and all the representatives of different state universities in BJMP. Good afternoon po. First of all, Dr. Prospero E. De Vera III would like to extend his congratulations to this fruitful endeavor and his apology for not being able to attend today's conference. Nevertheless, he commends this initiative that helps inmates connect to outside establishment, thereby facilitating their eventual re-entry into that society. On a personal note, allow me to congratulate the University of Southeastern Philippines and the Social Entrepreneurship Technology and Business Institute Incorporated, together with BJMP, for collaborating in this program to explore and expand the provision of access to higher education and employment for the country's incarcerated men and women, or as the BJMP refers to them now as persons deprived of liberty. Dr. Alan Meisel mentioned in his welcome remarks that the worst thing in life is to do nothing. I commend his efforts of empowering inmates through education and ensuring that recovery is part of its programs. We also recognize the efforts of University of Southeastern Philippines in ensuring that education is afforded to all people, regardless of their ethnic race, background, or standing in society. What Dr. Generalao said, that education is a right which must be afforded to all people, is true and must be ingrained in our educational system. We are now enlightened by the speech of Dr. Bas Dreisinger of the importance of restitution, reparation, correction, not just in helping the lives of the offenders, but the victims as well. Truly, incarceration might not be the only solution in dealing with those who committed or made transgressions against the law. We must take note of her manifestations that in the dispensation of justice, we must take into account our culture, our own being as a nation. The problem is, for now, prison or incarceration is how we dispense justice in this country. However, we must take into account that not all inmates, detainees, or as BJFP refers to them now as persons deprived of liberty committed crimes. There are those who are wrongly accused of crimes. It is just a sad plight that sometimes they are incarcerated for a very long period of time, sometimes taking as long as 8 years to 10 years. We also recognize that there are inmates who committed crimes. Nevertheless, persons deprived of liberty, whether they made bad choices and committed crimes or wrongly convicted of crimes, persons deprived of liberty are no different from us. That is why it is essential that we give to them their basic rights. Our Constitution states that it is the duty of the state to give quality education and make the same accessible to all. This is also the principle of President Duterte when he signed Republic Act 10319. But the question is, why should we pursue to give quality education and make the same accessible to all? Dr. Prospero E. De Vera III, the officer in charge of the Commission on Higher Education, explained it well when he said that education helps well in the employability of a person. Indeed, investment in higher education is an investment to our country. Education helps in our nation building. Personally, I see higher education as opening up of opportunities. True that it might might not be the only way to be successful in life or to be productive in life, but education opens up doors. Doors that might enhance someone's way of living. Having recognized the value of education and the value of making the same accessible to all, the Commission has existing programs that cater to different needs of the country's human resources. Under Section 4, CMO number 9, series of 2013, the Office of Student Development Services of the Commission must see to it that academic institutions must provide a set of student-centered activities and services in support of academic instructions intended to facilitate holistic and well-rounded student development as future responsible citizens and leaders. Likewise, under Section 15 of that CMO, all higher educational or education institutions are mandated to maintain active networking with school, community, alumni, and other relevant agencies for career and job placement and students. Furthermore, Section 16 of the said CMO provides that HEIs or higher education institutions must cater to the economic needs of students such as but not limited to student cooperatives, entrepreneurial, income-generating projects, and savings. We also have the expanded tertiary education equivalency and accreditation program, which is an educational assessment scheme which recognizes knowledge, skill, and prior learning attained by individuals from non-formal and informal educational experiences. This program is being implemented by the Commission pursuant to Executive Order 330 of 1996. It is an educational assessment scheme which recognizes individuals from non-formal and colleges as well as private colleges and universities to implement this program through various program offerings. Inmates or persons deprived of liberty may be given the opportunity to explore this program in order to obtain a college degree. Open and distance learning is also another means for inmates or persons deprived of liberty to be educated while inside the prison. Also, in this case, the CHED through Commissioner De Vera or OIC De Vera entered into a memorandum of understanding with CHED, taking into consideration the following. The overriding purpose of the Memorandum of Understanding is to support jointly and for the Philippine Commission of Higher Education to recognize officially the education and employment gap between those inside and outside of jail and thereby reduce recidivism. That jobs are hard to find when an individual is an ex-convict. With college degree, good life skills, a core education incorporated with a step-based recovery program to transform lives and solid vocational training for at least 1 year or more, released prisoners can overcome the prison record and its stigma. Hence, this initiative, the CEBB, as the first such pilot program for addressing our devastating drug problem in not only the Philippines but also in Southeast Asia, should be noted nationwide as well as globally for its potential to transform lives, especially those of the underserved. Hence, OIC Commissioner De Vera supports this initiative and its replication nationwide. However, despite this development, good developments if I may add, we should recognize that there are challenges ahead which are the following. Will prison-based education reduce rearrest, reconviction, and reincarceration? How can we reduce or eradicate social stigma to prove that reformed ways in economic productivity? How can we help other regions to implement programs like this? How prison-based education education can help in the employability of inmates. Some of the proposed solutions are the following. Programs for incarcerated men and women, taking into consideration the needs of a particular region. Curriculum for CEDB must be designed that values reform and spiritual programs are integrated into the curricular programs. These are just some of the proposed solutions so that we might help in the elevation of the conditions of those persons deprived of liberty. As we go on in this conference, we may be able to identify more solutions or more remedies to these problems.